Welcome to Friends and Neighbors. I am your host, Sandra Onal, joined here by my friend and co-host, Sherry Tatum. It's always such a joy to be here with you.
Oh, tell the truth.
It really is. No, it is.
She doesn't mean that.
In the name of Jesus, I would use that comment because I do. But, you know, this is really going to be such an inspiring and special program. We have with us a family, the Delaney family, who is truly inspiring. You know, when you grow and you start having hurdles in your life, struggles such as infertility, you know about struggles.
Yes.
I know I struggled through infertility. What do you do when you're waiting on God and you're trying to put God into a cookie cutter box because this is the life that you thought you were supposed to live, or what culture thought that you were supposed to be?
Live,
You know, but God, He's such a big, amazing God.
He does
and
amazing
He always has His best for us. And I'm so thrilled to introduce you to Darren and Amy Delaney. Thank you so much for being here with us.
I have my clinic.
I know.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Y'all, you are going to see how God is honored through this amazing family. Again, thank you for being here.
Yes.
Thank you for
We
having
appreciate it.
Amen.
Tell us your story. I mean, just start from 1997.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot that's happened since 1997. So, Darren and I had both previously been married, and we made a lot of mistakes in that initial part of our life. We would love to blame it on our 20s. But at least God was willing to give us a second chance.
Amen.
Yes.
And at least God was willing to say, you know, you may not have done things right to this point, but I'm going to give you a second chance to make the most of it.
Yeah.
So we've now been married almost 23 years.
Congratulations.
Yes.
When we got married, you're talking about cookie cutter.
Yeah.
You know, we did, Darren had one child from his previous marriage. I had two children. And, you know, of course, we wanted to have a family together because that's such a time of turmoil in your life, and you're realizing maybe some of the things that you didn't do correctly that would have allowed you to stay a 24-hour, 365-day-a-year parent.
Yes.
You're having to learn how to co-parent, and that is such a struggle.
Yes.
That
Yes.
is such a struggle, and you don't realize in the moment maybe what's going to come as a result of choices that are made. And so we wanted to be that parent that was going to be able to be there all the time for our children. And so we started trying to build that family, and it was not happening, and we traveled down that road of infertility.
Yes.
And that is an exhausting,
Yes, it is.
Yes.
tiring,
Disappointing.
almost can be faith-busting
Yes.
time in anyone's life.
Yes.
And you're trying to remain strong as a couple.
Yes.
And at the same time, it's just, it's such hope and a high, and then such disappointment and a low.
Yes.
And it's continuous. It's continuous, and you don't understand because you feel like you're trying to do the right thing. But sometimes I think that when we're not being consistently present and mindful and prayerful, and by prayerful I mean, are we being willing to have an open heart?
Yes.
You don't receive things as you think you should because you're not doing it yet the way that God
way He
has
wanted
planned
to.
for you.
Yes, yes.
So we had kind of given up because that's a very expensive process, and we had exhausted what we could do. And we found out that we thought international adoption was our only choice. We found out that there were so many children in the United States,
Amen,
both
Amy.
typical
Amen.
and non-typical kids
Yes.
that have no one. And so we adopted what we felt like was a typical child. And he was older, he was 3, but we were so pleased and so blessed and so thankful to have him come in. And not long after that, we got a call about another child that had been abandoned at the hospital, and we were so thankful that that parent was willing to make that choice. And we we brought her home and we were perfectly happy, and then all of a sudden we found out Logan was sick.
Oh.
And he was your first adoption.
He was our first.
Yes. And just what did you do? You are a faith-based family. What did you do at that point?
Well, we found out he had to have a bone marrow transplant, and that was a little bit, not only was it a shock, and it was, I don't want to say a disappointment, because you don't want to say that when God's giving you a gift, it's a disappointment, but we had to fight to find what the right path was that God wanted us to travel.
Yeah.
And if we had not gotten Logan, we would not have seen all the other places that God was giving us to go. And we've gotten a front row seat to miracles because of that. We were able to see how many children are at the hospital without parents. And I had worked before in emergency medical services. My husband was a paramedic. We had prayer, and we decided we would just choose to adopt special needs kids.
Is that why you got a degree in respiratory, be a respiratory therapist?
Oh, now see, somebody's been telling you my secret.
Because
I might be a little nervous because I don't know what else you know.
I know a lot, Amy.
Goodness.
But for children with tracheostomies, right?
We had a phone call to pick up our daughter Lexi, which you all meet in a moment, and we were not aware at the time we picked her up that she had a tracheostomy and deaf and facial abnormalities and feeding tube, and she scared me to death.
Oh.
She scared me to death because you're just kind of like given this equipment and it's go forth, and so we have a very supportive community. And we went to our community hospital and said, can you show us what it is we need to do? But as time went on, my comfort level wasn't there. And so I did make that choice at that time. I was about, I was approaching 40.
Went
back to school.
Amy, how many children did you already have?
Well, and that's I know. Well, see, and that's where I wanted.
5? Didn't you have 5?
I think I had more than that. Let me just think in my head real quick. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4. I had 6 at that time.
And that's where I wanted to come back, because you guys got married and you're a blended family.
We are.
Right? So you had 2 children, you had 1. And
that's 3 right off the bat.
That's 3.
Yeah.
And then you're struggling through infertility, wanting to have a family together. God reveals Logan as a plan for your life, which is, I call it the first miracle of his plan for your lives. He then opens your heart even more by allowing this this trial, because it's not a disappointment, it's a trial to say, Logan needs medical assistance, to open up your heart to see that there are kids in the hospital that have absolutely no family to walk them through their medical treatments. So that opened up your heart to then adopt all these beautiful kids that you have with special needs.
But does that go back to the footsteps of a righteous man or woman is directed of the Lord? Don't you feel like you were directed your footsteps from the beginning, the infertility? God had a plan, Jeremiah 29:11. He had a plan.
It had to be his, because we didn't have that plan going into this.
That's what I'm wondering.
I'm saying.
So,
No, and all the children, they've also kind of, sometimes people do not understand this when I say it. I used to not tell people how many of my children were adopted and how many were biological, because I didn't want people to think that I loved them differently.
Yes.
But then I noticed over time when people would say, well, I don't think if I had an adopted child, I could ever love it as much as a biological.
Yes, you can.
Now I tell them, because we know that you can, that the love is exactly the same. Right. We also know that their challenges that they've had medically, even though they're difficult to go through and to watch as parents, we've been given a front row seat to God's miracles on a continual basis. Yes. That's a priceless gift.
Yes,
that is a priceless gift that we have. Yes. And so we focus on those things. But the children have really, one has helped the other. We have a child that's autistic. And when he came to us, he was in a wheelchair. He did not speak. He showed no emotion. And then when we had child come in that was deaf, and he saw her doing sign language, and he saw her being able to get what she wants. If she did the sign for milk, she got milk. If she did the sign for apple, she got apple. If she saw a bird, she had bird, and he saw communication. Now our Avery makes every attempt to talk. He is not in a wheelchair. He's come farther than anyone has ever said.
What a miracle.
And that's what we get to see up front as parents. That's what we get to see. And that's a lot of joy.
The Bible talks to us about loving people well, right? And as family, when you're biological, I mean, you can really get right, even biological or adoptive, but when you love people well, it doesn't matter if you're adopted or you're not.
It really doesn't.
You're part of the family.
Yeah.
But isn't that what we are as Christians? We're part of
We're
the family
adopted.
of God. So, you know, but it's inspiring to me, Darren and Amy, that you put one foot in front of the other to love children well, and your heart for family and unity. It's just, it pours out. It's inspiring to me. Now, I know we talked about some of the diagnoses of your kids. Two of them have, I don't know if you've seen the movie Wonder. Have you seen the movie
No,
Wonder?
I haven't.
But that is, tell me again the diagnosis is Treacher-Collins syndrome.
Treacher-Collins syndrome, which is basically when a child is born without any bones in their face. And so those two children have surgery every 3 to 6 months and will until the ages of between 18 and 21.
Until they're fully grown.
So they can, continue to try to help give them bone structure, not just for cosmetology reasons, but they have a lot of airway problems because of that syndrome. And, they have, they're both deaf because they have no way for sound to get from the outside to the inside.
Amy, do they do bone grafts for them? Is that the surgery?
They do.
They harvest bone from different parts of their body. In order to add, they also, through the gift of life and organ and bone donation that families are comfortable with when they've lost their loved ones, that also goes to assist with that.
Well, then that comes with that another trial of someone has to be at the hospital, someone has to work, someone has to be with the other children. And I'm sitting here looking at you two thinking, God, bless them, God, help them, because, I know you both get very tired. But God has given you the gift to do this.
You're absolutely right, and I hate to cut this off, but we have a commercial break to go to. But we rely on the fact that God is our strength, right? When we are weak, He is strong. And after this break, we are going to meet the children and just love on them. I can't wait for you to come back.
Yes.
And we'll continue this conversation with the Delaney family. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Friends and Neighbors. And we are having an inspiring time talking to the Delaney family. And I am so thrilled to have the Delaney children with us. And I am going to introduce them by name. I know their names.
No, you
all
don't.
of them. Yes, I do.
No.
You ready?
Yeah.
Miracle, 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 miracle.
You
Delaney.
did it.
I did it.
You did it.
It is God's miracle represented in flesh.
Amen.
I am so delighted to see you all. Welcome so much. But seriously, Amy, I would love for you to introduce each one of your kids and also share with us how God revealed how you would name them and the biblical aspect behind it.
So the children came to us at different times.
Yes.
And so, of course, if they were already, preschool older, then they were already familiar with their birth names. And we were very comfortable with that. But being a faith-based family and wanting to give God the glory, we felt it was very important that we acknowledge that. So this is Logan Abram, and he is 15. And so his name, of course, comes from Genesis, when God gives Abram the decision of whether or not to make a commitment and become Abraham. And it says that those that know you will be blessed. And we are blessed with Logan. And then this is Malachi. And he may be short in stature. And some people may think that he's a minor prophet. But he has got more personality than probably anybody else that's out here right now.
I can see. Hey, Malachi.
Silly boy sometimes, let me just tell you that. And then next to him, and we get this question all the time, are they twins? They are not biological siblings. They're 4 months apart in age, but they do share the same Treacher-Collins syndrome.
Yes.
And that is Miss Lexi Hannah.
Hi.
And all we have to say about that is Hannah's song, and everybody will get it.
Oh,
Hannah's
love it.
song, and
Yes.
everybody will get it. And so Lexi's about to be 12. Her birthday's next week.
Woohoo!
All right.
Malachi is already 12.
All right.
And then Grace is 13, and this is Grace Norissa, and she's our gift from God. Because hardly anyone ever gets to adopt a baby, and she came to us when she was 2 days old.
Oh,
Total gift from God.
it's so good.
And then this is Avery Isaiah.
Hi, Avery.
Avery Isaiah is, how old are you? How old are you? 14. Yep, that's right.
Ooh.
Yes. And can I tell your story? Okay. So Isaiah, soar with eagles, right?
That's
Soar
right.
with eagles. And Avery has made me put my running shoes on a time or two. He's a good little runner.
Yeah.
So we think his name is appropriate.
Keeps you young.
And he does. He may run off here in just a second.
Yeah.
And then this is Jeremiah Francisco. And Jeremiah came to us when he was 11 months old, and he weighed 13 pounds. So there was a lot of concern about Jeremiah and how he would do. And so, of course, he's from Jeremiah 29,
Yes.
For I know the plans I have, which you all brought up earlier.
Yes.
Plans of hope and a future.
Yes.
One of my favorite, I know her scriptures and one of my favorite worship songs, God is faithful. Oh my goodness. And I can see, okay, so family dynamics. I have 3 girls, my family, we were 3 and I'm the baby. So I feel like being the baby, like I kind of, the
You're
world
spoiled.
revolves
You're
around
spoiled.
here, you know? My oldest sister and my middle one always say I get everything.
Everything.
But I disagree. I just think, well, anyway. So I just want to know about the family dynamics. You're Logan, and you are firstborn, or the first
Oldest
one.
of this
the
group.
oldest of this group, that's right. So tell us a little bit about your family.
Well, they're awesome.
I love that. And put your mic up a little
Okay,
bit.
they're awesome and I love them. They're very eventful, good to hang out with.
Eventful's a very good term.
Yes.
We are eventful.
Yeah, there's always something going on.
That was a good choice of words, Logan.
Thank you.
I love that. Eventful.
Logan, will you have more surgeries? Is it something with your heart?
No, I think I'm good.
Everything's good now?
He's
Yeah.
in remission.
Praise God.
Praise God.
You're another miracle.
Yes.
And what
Yes.
year was your bone marrow transplant?
2006.
2006.
Awesome. That's the good Lord. He's watching over you.
Yes, he
Amen.
is.
And you're a very handsome man.
Thank you.
Yes, you are. Yes. All of you are handsome.
Girls, watch out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I love it. Oh, okay. So now, if you want to pass the mic down, now let's see. This is our other
Malachi.
Malachi.
Yes.
I can just see the joy of the Lord in all of your faces. Oh my goodness, I love your smile, and I am so thrilled you're here. And I just wanted to just tell you how amazing it is just to have your entire family here. What is the one thing that you can think of that you just absolutely love about your family?
Yeah, are you struggling coming up with one thing?
Just one thing? I can imagine.
Yeah.
What about, do you have somebody to play video games with? Who do you usually play video games with?
Logan. All right. The big brother.
So Logan's really good about helping you out with your video games?
Are you with one person?
Oh.
Oh, I love that. Lexi, what did you say?
Are you missing one person.
Are you missing one person? Is there someone else that plays with you other than Logan on video games?
Lexi.
Lexi.
Lexi, I want to say that it was very politically correct. I absolutely love that.
Okay. Who wins?
What about me?
You or Malachi? Who wins the games?
Who usually wins the games?
Oh,
Probably.
I would usually say Logan
Logan
because
usually wins.
he's the smartest,
Oh, he's the smartest.
and I'm not technically rude to you, Jeremiah, but
I said I'm not trying to be rude to you, Jeremiah.
I think Logan is good at games, and Malachi usually wins second place. I win third place.
You're usually third place.
Oh,
Smart at Roblox.
You are smart.
I love
You
that.
are.
Yes.
Absolutely. And hey, Lexi, I gotta say, I love your dress.
Yes.
So
Styling.
pretty.
Thank you.
And your haircut, you just look adorable. And you are adorable. Yeah.
So Lexi and Malachi get really upset when they have to have their surgeries at different times.
Oh, really?
You don't like that, do you, Malachi? Does it make you upset? But sometimes he says he needs Lexi to have a surgery and him not have one because he wants a break.
Oh. Now, Malachi just recently had a surgery. Is that right?
did.
He did.
Mom?
He just recently.
There you go.
I love the personality.
Crazy octopus.
She's a crazy octopus.
Malachi, I'm just gonna say one thing,
Oh,
but
Lexi's just gonna say one thing.
I think you're really talented, but sometimes you get arguing just because I call you bacon hair.
She said that she thinks Malachi's really talented, but sometimes he gets on to her because she calls him bacon hair.
Oh. Well, I can see the family dynamics are just the same as mine back home. Now, I wanted to ask.
Grace.
I want to ask Grace. Grace, do you love to sing and draw also? Well, what kind of songs do you sing?
I usually sing like Over the Rainbow or like the songs from Guardians of the Galaxy because my dad works for Marvel. And me and him sing Brandy all the time or
Oh, I
Blue
love
Skies
that.
or
She and her dad sing
Cowboy.
together a lot, and she does have a beautiful voice, and she's been working really hard on Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Wonderful. I wish we have
I know.
Grace back to sing for us.
That would
Wouldn't
be
that
awesome. We wouldn't put you on the spot and say sing right now,
Yeah,
would we?
no.
Do it. If they put you on the spot, would you sing?
not right now, but later.
Lexi would.
Oh, love it.
Later.
Well, I wanted to come down.
I would do it later.
Okay, well we'll have to plan on that. Now we are going to take a quick break, but we do want to come and hear a little bit more about Jeremiah
Yeah,
and
and
Avery.
Avery.
And
Yeah.
I just love that y'all are here sharing your heart. And I've
been blessed.
I have been, but listen,
Blessed.
don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the Delaney family.
with us.
Stay with us.
Yes, you want to meet Avery.
Welcome back to Friends and Neighbors, and we are having a great time getting to meet the children.
And I'm inching up closer
I
and
know
closer
you're-
to these kids. Every one of them. But Jeremiah, you know what? You're named after my favorite verse in the Bible, Jeremiah 29:11. And are you originally from El Salvador?
No.
Where?
Where are you from?
America.
Well,
We know
said
that.
America.
Yeah.
Guatemala?
Yeah.
It's- I've been to Guatemala many times, and I just must say you are a very handsome young man,
Thank you.
and you're doing well now. What grade are you in?
6.
Sixth grade. Well,
Not only is he in the 6th grade, so I'm going to be the mom now.
okay.
He's an A and B student, mostly A's, and he's in honors math, and he loves STEM. So he loves computers and engineering, and he does phenomenal at school.
Oh, well, you know what I've noticed about Jeremiah? He loves Avery.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he
That's
just
his
loves
buddy.
Avery.
So they were in a foster home for a little bit together, and Avery, you know, he hasn't talked for a long time, but Jeremiah brings that out.
Avery, what's my name?
J-Man. He calls him J-Man.
J-Man, I love that, Avery.
So Jeremiah helps.
Yes.
We are at the end of our time here today.
we are.
You're
And I
right.
wanted you to share quickly about the organizations. We've got 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. Well, I will make it quick. So we're just happy that there's certain foundations that are willing to support and advocate on behalf of special needs families.
Yes.
And one of those is Miss Lee's Heart.
Oh.
And so it's, in this new age of internet, you can check out Miss Lee's Heart.
.org. So you'll want to do that. And thank you so much for joining us. God bless you. And remember, love people well.
Well, amen.
We'll see you
as
next
Jesus
time
does.
on
Amen.
Friends and Neighbors.
Amen. Woo.